Welcome to CFO Chronicles, the secrets behind success, the must-listen show for fractional CFOs, accounting firm owners, and finance leaders looking to land high-value clients and scale through next-level marketing, branding, and strategy. I'm your host, James Donovan, and today's guest is Debra Kilsheimer, founder of Behind the Scenes, a transformational accounting firm. Debra is a true visionary who's not afraid to challenge conventional wisdom in the industry. Today, she'll be sharing her aha moment that led her to quit her job and build her practice exactly how she wanted it. She'll also reveal her biggest marketing challenge and how she overcame it, as well as her strong belief about the use of timesheets in the industry. Stay tuned to discover why Debra believes that believing in your ideas is the key to success in the accounting world. Debra, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you on here today.
Me too. Now, did you write that yourself? That was really good.
Oh, thank you so much. There may have been a little bit of some help there with the team, but we
That's
can run with me
really
writing
good.
that
I
myself.
might have to keep that for my own to use that.
Hey, I'll send it over. That will be your new intro for all the podcasts you're doing.
That was really good.
Thank you so much for coming on, though, Deborah. I've had an absolute blast every time we've got to connect in person. I know we met back in the spring at GrowCon, and we had a
Mhm.
chance to connect again recently in Arizona. It's always a pleasure seeing you. So I'm so excited to have you on here today and just chat and have our listeners get to know you a little bit as well.
Great. Perfect.
So let's dive right into things. Can you tell us about your journey to becoming a CPA and how you eventually decided to start your own practice?
Well, how much time do you have? Well, I grew up in an accounting family. Um my dad was a teacher, and he always kept track of all the money in our family. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. They both had master's degrees from my dad, Temple University, my mom, the University of Pennsylvania, and their big thing was to raise a family. I'm the oldest of four, and they did it on a teacher's salary. I went to Girl Scout camp, church camp, new school clothes every year, violin lessons, beach summer vacation, camping. We had a perfect Beaver Cleaver life, and my dad did it on a teacher's salary because I remember him sitting with my mom and my mom keeping all the receipts, and they'd go into the basement and they would do the budget, and they'd say, okay, we have money for this and money for that. And so, I mean, we didn't shop in the fanciest of stores, but we did survive on that kind of a budget. And that to me was what accounting was. So when I went to college, I didn't know what I wanted to be. So, and my mom told me, by the way, that girls were not good at math. Well, you believe your mother, don't you? So I thought, well, I can't be an accountant. I'm not good at math, you know. And in college, I had a roommate who was taking accounting, and I needed one more course. She goes, take accounting. It's not hard. I'll help you. Yeah, but I'm not good at math. She goes, it's not math, it's logic. I'm like, oh, all right. So I took it. I thought, this is fun. It's like a puzzle. I mean, you're solving a puzzle. So I really liked it. Well, I go back for the summer and I thought, I just can't, I still don't know what I want to be. So I bought a car. I packed the car up and I said, I'm moving to Florida.
I
My
love
mom
it.
says, where are you going? I was in Pennsylvania. I'm moving to Florida. Who do you know in Florida? Nobody. I mean, I'm 21. You think you can conquer the world. So I drove to Florida, got off in Orlando, and thought, what am I going to do? What am I going to be? Blah, blah. So I'm driving around and I saw the University of Central Florida. Back then it was called Florida Technological University, but it's changed to UCF. I walked in, I said, what's the major that will get me a job? And they said, accounting is good. I'm thinking, well, I took that accounting class. Okay, sign me up. So that's how I started my accounting journey. Got the degree, got a job in a CPA firm, passed my exam, and thought, I absolutely hate this job. I thought it was dumb. It was nothing like I thought accounting was, like my dad taught me it was, which was forward thinking. What do people want? What's the vision you have for your life that accounting and the money can help meet? Because we were worrying about receipts and 6 minute intervals and how much time did it take. And I thought, this is backwards. I remember having my annual review with the partner, and he says, Debbie, we're really disappointed in you. Why? I'm bringing in new business. I'm filling out my timesheets. I'm getting, I'm really whipping out these tax returns. I'm doing a good job. Why are you disappointed? He goes, well, your billing rate is not as high as Tony's. He was a kid in the office.
Yeah.
Tony and I graduated the same year, passed the exam at the same time. We were equal on paper, but Tony took a long time. And he goes, and Tony stays every night till 8 o'clock and you leave at 5. I said, yeah, but my work's done. Why do I need to stay till 8 just to make you think that I'm more committed than he is? I do more tax returns, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, but that's just how it's done in accounting. I said, well, not for me. I hate this. I went home and told my new husband, my first husband, I got two. I traded him in for Hal. And I said, I really hate this job. It's nothing like I thought it would be. I mean, 6-minute intervals, they track, that's how they price the customer.
Hmm.
Why don't we just charge a flat rate? If I get it done in 10 minutes, why is that worth less than a tax return that takes me 2 hours?
Yeah.
It just made no sense to me. I said, what are we after? We're after transforming customers into what accounting can do for them in their life. And I was 25 years old when I had this conversation. And my husband said, so what are you going to do? I said, I'm quitting. I quit. I I walked into Ron's office and said, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore.
I love it.
You just passed your exam. Yeah, but I cannot live like this I don't like it. I'm not having any fun. I always wanted to have a job where I liked getting up and having fun, where I wanted to go to work. I
Yeah.
so I quit and I went into sales for 10 years, which I sold Mary Kay Cosmetics of all things. Had the pink Cadillac, had the mink coat, the bumblebee, everything. And I did that, very successful at it. And then personal computers started to come out. And I thought, well, these Mary Kay directors need newsletters. So I started a newsletter company, started to create newsletters for Mary Kay directors. And then they realized that they could do them on their own. So I'm like, okay, well, you know, I was becoming the buggy whip salesman. So then I got a job teaching computers to attorneys in a big firm that was all over the country. I
Interesting.
loved that job. And 9/11 hits. And all of a sudden, we're not traveling anymore. So they called me in my office and said, in their office and said, we're doing away with your department. What? I thought I'd have this job for the rest of my life. And they said, well, we're not traveling, so we don't need you. So Friday morning, I had a job. Friday afternoon, I did not. Well, in the interim, my first husband and I got a divorce, unfortunately. Life happens. And then I decided I wanted a boyfriend. So I put an ad on the internet and I said, I want a boyfriend. And I had a date like every night for a year.
Look
So
at you go.
I tell you what, I said, you know what? I'm going to meet everybody. You never know.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? You sit through movies that for 2 hours that are stinko. I could have dinner with somebody and maybe I'll meet somebody nice. So I just was looking for somebody to have dinner with, go to the movies. I wasn't looking to get married. I just wanted somebody to have fun with. And Hal was one of the people that answered.
Howell in the
Well,
towel.
pardon? Hal
Howell in the
Natal.
towel.
Yep. And so when he called me, he goes, he was 10 years older than me. He lived 50 miles away from me. He kept telling me all this. I own a boat. I own a car. I own a motorcycle. I go on vacation all the time. I'm thinking, who cares? Are you nice? Are you decent? Are you kind? That's what I was looking for. And then so then I said, what do you do? Oh, I have my own tax and accounting firm.
Interesting.
Oh, I thought he's probably as dull as dishwater. And then I said, what's your name? He goes, oh, my name is Hal Hickey. I'm like, oh, I didn't laugh on the phone, but inside I was like, what?
Oh my
So,
God.
but I thought, you know what? I promised I'd meet them all. So I met him for dinner the following Wednesday. He called me on a Saturday. Met him on Wednesday. I said, well, this guy's nice. I like him. He can complete a sentence. I just enjoyed his company. And that next weekend, I came over to Port Orange where he lived, and we went out on the boat. We just had a nice time together. I really liked him. So a month later is when I lost my job. And I called him up and I said, guess what? I don't have a job anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've never not had a job. He goes, well, you're a CPA. Why don't you work with me till you find something? I said, all right, only if I can run an accounting firm how I think it should be run. No hourly billing, flat rate pricing, use all the technologies that are available to streamline the process to give a proactive result to the customers. And he goes, good, I like tax. You do you. I'm like, okay. So
So
I got
cool.
QuickBooks. That was, that was the software back then, and started to go build the practice. And it was like, that was like 24 years ago. And he was smart enough to let me run with it. So I got very active in the QuickBooks community. I started to attend conferences. I started to do all of that stuff, and it's turned out really well. We have, built the firm really big. We had a lot of staff at one time, and then I thought, I don't like having people work for me. I don't like getting up and getting dressed to go into an office. I like going from my bedroom into my other bedroom. This is my office.
Yeah.
And when COVID hit, we let go of a lot of our staff. Kept one. So we still have one, Mary, who's been with me like 18 years now.
Amazing.
And I still make a lot of money and do what we want when we want. And because I do the practice how I think it should be done.
That's what it's
And it
all
works.
about, right? You're
Yeah,
you're building it the way you want to run the business. There's a
yeah,
million ways to run a business. And so
right.
that's so
My,
awesome.
and my big thing is always making customers, like what like you said in the beginning, transform customers. That's always been my mission. Is how can what I do help them achieve their goals, transform their lives? And so I ask questions. So why did you start your business? If you had $1 million, what would you do with it? So they start to tell you and they start dreaming and all. Oh, so I see that they have little kids at home and they want to go to their soccer games. They want to pay, or they're older and they want to pay for their kids, their grandchildren's college educations. It's beyond, I always say it's beyond the balance sheet, meaning that gives them the everyday stuff they do. But when the profit they produce, what can they do with that? I talk about what about your employees, the people that work for you? How can we impact them so they can have the life they want to live? So it goes beyond just that. And they start to say, well, yeah, you're a little bit different. Well, yeah, because I'm worrying about
Yeah.
how accounting can impact what you do. And so I always keep that top of mind with them. So we're
That-
always looking at that. I said, your books speak to you through the transactions. My job is to interpret it. Just like some people read French romance novels, I read balance sheets and income statements. And now with I can read them faster. I can get more insights. I can do the AI can take care of the drudge part. I'm not taking all the stuff and figuring it all out,
Yeah.
myself. The AI can give me the insights into what I'm seeing. And then I use all the technology tools. Like one of my favorite tools is Fanatical Software, which is a reporting software that connects with QuickBooks and exports it into at the Excel level. So I can customize the reports like I want. Restaurants 445 reports, 7-day flash reports. I can customize them in Excel and it sucks the data in. Where before I was exporting it, manipulating it myself with all the transactions. But now with Fanatical Software, it's my favorite. I use that. And then of course I use Sasant, which imports the data into the QuickBooks, and Bill, which pays the bills for the, so I use all the best of breed softwares. Same thing with payroll.
Yeah.
Make sure that all gets in. And then what do the numbers mean? How can we impact what the customer wants to see a difference?
And
And when you do that, you can charge premium prices. I'm not competing with the guy down the street that says we do bank recs. I'm competing with the guy that says we change lives. So
that's
we're more strategic than we are transactional. And when you talk about strategy and strategic, can charge more. And a lot of people say, "Well, I'm just a bookkeeper." Doesn't matter. You're still doing the same thing. You're still looking at what the impact is, the technology, the freedom, all this, the space that you can open up so the business owner can have the vision to make his lawn care business the best there is.
yeah.
For his swimming pool business, the best there is. They all started the business for a reason. Figure out what it is, how you can make it bigger and better, what they want. That's value pricing. A lot of people get that incorrect, I think, because what we value as accountants, I don't think is the same thing clients value. Give you an example.
Well, just real quick there on that because there's
Yeah.
a lot of great points. And one, you mentioned Bill, so we'll just touch on that real quick because they're a proud sponsor of the show, and we can't do
Oh,
it.
great.
So shout out to Bill. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. But Debbie, you were talking about it sounds like a big piece of what you do and a lot of your success, and I'm guessing the client retention and just why the firm works so well is because you care about people's why and you're not
Yes.
just reporting the numbers. Like you're asking, well, what would you do with $1 million? What is important to you? Why did you start the business? And you're
Right.
asking the deeper questions, not just surface level stuff. Would you say that has helped you? I guess let me rephrase that. How would you say that has helped you by asking those questions? I think that's one of like that's the biggest hack when it comes to sales is just asking questions and being a human who cares.
Well, I do think it gives people purpose. I think people need purpose. Why do I get up every morning and do what I do? So, I do it because for my family, whatever. So I figure out what their purpose is and keep that top of mind. And then you do things so I don't want to say in their face, but you do really hospitable things. Like I read that book by Will Gardera on unreasonable hospitality. Why aren't we doing that as accountants? It's so simple. Like remember their birthdays. Now, what we do here is we have all their birthdays because we have to have them on the tax return. Hal
Mhm.
and I actually will call up the client and sing happy birthday on the phone.
I love it.
I mean, they think we're nuts. Now, it takes what, 5 minutes, but you can hear them chuckling on the other end and they go, thank you for remembering. Or send them a birthday card. We send a lot of thank you notes. I like to handwrite. Who does that anymore? Takes seconds, so things like that. If there's things that are coming up, like I know with the restaurants that we have with the tip credit, I called up all the owners and explained to them as best I could what's going on with that. That takes extra time, but to me, that shows that we care about what they want, what they're on target of what they want. We just talk to them. They're people. I mean, when people say this is business to business, no, it's people to people.
Yeah.
People are behind every single business. So you find out what makes them tick, gives them purpose. And I think there was a study. What makes people live longer? It's that they have a social network and a purpose in life. It's not health or diet. So I thought, Yahoo, you mean I don't have to lose weight to live a long time? Yay, I'm all for that. Give people purpose. So it matters. And if you see them struggling, call stuff out. I was talking about the value. We think as accountants, we need to have a meeting with them every month to go over the balance sheet and the income statement. That's not a bad thing, but it's not what many clients want. What they want. What do you see that we can help make a difference in what's going on? So I'm looking at ratios, margins, everything like that. So if I know they're on target, I'll just call, we're on target this month. Keep it going. Any new things coming up? Nope, everything's good. Great. I don't need to meet with them. It's kind of like, when you go to the doctor and he takes the blood work and he says, okay, let's go over the blood work, Debbie. And he shows me all these numbers. I go, I don't need to know that. Is there anything know my goal is to live to 110? What on there is telling you that that's not going to happen? He goes, no, everything's good. I go, and can I improve anything? Nope, improve it all. I mean, you're doing great. Perfect. If you see anything whacked, call me up. We'll take care of that. I use that philosophy when I'm talking to clients. Now, if they want to go over every line on the lab report, the income statement, absolutely, I'll do it. I have one guy, he goes over every line. Of course, he pays the most money to me, by the way, but I'm fine to do that because that's what he values. It's not what I value, it's what they value. You got to find that out by asking good questions, you
Something
know.
that's really standing out to me, and I'm curious to get your take on this, but in a world where everyone's trying to automate everything, they're trying to use AI for everything and just like remove themselves from the business. It sounds like you're really taking that extra personal touch to work with
Hmm.
your clients. And like you said, yeah, sure, writing a handwritten letter, it's going to take more time than an automated email, but I can almost guarantee the impact your clients get from that handwritten letter or you picking up the phone and singing happy birthday.
Yep.
They remember that stuff. They don't remember the email that went
Yeah,
out
I
every
remember
Friday
the
with the report.
email. Right. In fact, it's funny. Many times I'll just do a handwritten thank you note. I will tell you, between me and you, I write down on
And the rest of the
ChatGPT,
listeners.
yeah, that I'm writing a thank you note to this for this client. Can you come up with a really great way to say it? So ChatGPT will actually write the text,
Yeah. But
so I just have
it's
to,
still your prompt,
still my
your
idea. I
idea.
just have
Yeah.
to handwrite it on, and I handwrite it with my
Yeah.
black felt tip marker,
Yeah.
and then handwrite the address on the thing. It always smears because it never dries fast enough. I don't care. Put a stamp on it, mail it off.
Looks more
I can't
authentic.
tell you the number of times people will actually take a picture of the note and send. Thank you for sending me this. And I'm thinking, what an impact it has. I mean,
That's
it takes
amazing.
so little time. So anytime somebody does something special, I try to find out their address and might send them a quick note. Thanks so much. It was great meeting you at a conference. Love talking with you. Like I tell you, every podcast guest I have, I send a thank you note to because
That's
we have my
awesome.
on my own podcast called Donnie, Debbie and Donna, Bookkeepers on Fire.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that real quick because you got the shirt on.
Got the shirt.
For those who are
Bookkeepers
only
on Fire.
listening on video here, go check it out on YouTube. But
Yep.
yeah, let's hear about this shirt because it looks awesome. So I'd love to hear quickly. Tell us the story behind that.
Well, it's funny. My friend Donna Reed, I met Donna Reed doing kind of what I'm doing now. The host said, Brad, he said, you have to meet Donna Reed. We do an after show where we're not filming, but everybody comes on. You have to meet this girl, Donna Reed. I said, okay. So she comes on and we're just two sisters from a different mother, whatever that phrase is. So Brad and Andrew left and we're talking. But we just connected. She's in California. So I'm at QuickBooks Connect 2 years ago. And I'm walking in the vendor hall and I see her standing there. Now Donna is very quiet. She's an introvert. But she's brilliant. And I knew that because I've talked to her and I see her stuff and I thought this girl's smart. I like smart people. I have a thing for smart people. So I see her standing there and I walked up to her and I said, Donna Reed, I'm Debbie Kilsheimer. I can't believe I finally met you in 3D. And she goes, oh, great. Blah, blah, blah. I said, you ever think about doing something together? And she went, I'd love to. I said, well, let's figure out something to do. Well, 6 months later, here's my number. 6 months later, she texts me. Were you serious about doing something together? Because I'm a little intimidated. Am I that scary? So she goes, yes, but you're well known, blah, blah, blah. I said, look, I'm just me. So we decided about 2 years ago to start a podcast
Okay.
called Bookkeepers on Fire. And the goal was just to answer bookkeeping questions. One of my hobbies is I like to knit. And my favorite YouTube knitting thing is called they answer knitting questions.
Okay.
Yeah, so I thought, why don't we answer bookkeeping questions? So we ask people, please send us your questions. So people would ask, how do you do this? How do you do that? And Donna would answer, and then I would give my take. And it went really well. So then Donna says, why don't we do a YouTube channel? I said, okay, we'll just talk, the two of us. And I said, why don't we do bookkeepers on fire? Why don't we interview the people in our industry? Because we need to build it up to see we make a difference. We impact people's lives. So we want to impact their life. So we go on once a week live. We were on Tuesdays at 3 o'clock. And yesterday we had Randy Crabtree on from
Awesome.
Bridging the Gap. He was our guest yesterday. We've had Ron Baker on, Hector Garcia, Carlos Garcia. Jeannie Whitehouse is coming on, and plus all of my friends in the industry. And we just chat for half an hour, and everybody says, "I don't think I could talk for half an hour." I said, "It's three people talking. It's three friends talking. You'll be amazed that before you know it, the 30 minutes is up." And it's great. So we started doing that. I forget we don't have any sponsors or anything, so it's organically grown. And Donna does all the work. I have to tell you, Donna does all the work. She's brilliant with it. And I always think I'm the idea person. Why don't we do this? What do you think of that? What do you think of this? And she goes, oh, I like that idea. And then she'll institute it. So she works very hard at it. I show up. So it's a lot of fun. And Don and I meet, every week to go over our plans, just chit chat. Where do you want to go with it? Things like that. And We just have a ball doing it. We have a
Awesome.
great time. And Bookkeepers on Fire. Like,
Bookkeepers on
subscribe.
Fire. Bookkeepers on Fire. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts, I'm guessing.
Yep, podcast and YouTube. Yep.
Perfect. So Debbie, I'm really curious to know, just kind of tying this back into a marketing related podcast, so it's super actionable for the rest of the listeners. I got two questions for you.
Okay.
One on the front end, what part of your marketing engine keeps you up at night?
I mean, what do I worry about?
Yeah, what from the marketing side of things with your business, is there anything that comes to mind that you're worrying about, or you got it
No.
dialed
Do I
in, you're
worry? Why
sorted?
worry? Makes you wrinkles.
Okay. Perfect.
69 years old. I don't need any more wrinkles.
Okay.
I never
Perfect.
worried about marketing, if that's your question.
Okay.
I never had a website till 3 years ago.
Amazing.
Now, what I do is I always am talking to customers. Who do you know that might need my help? When I'm out and about. I ask people all the time. I like to talk to people. You have to step out of your comfort zone when you're a business owner, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. People think you need to be bold and loud and a salesperson. No, you just have to like people and be interested in them in your own way, whether it be a quiet way or a loud way like me, because everybody likes talking about themselves. So find the question. So who are you? Like I introduce myself. My name is Debbie Kilsheimer. What's your name? And they'll tell you, oh, my name's, oh, great. So what's good in your life? I never like to say, well, how are you? Well, who cares? Sometimes they'll tell you, and I'm never asking that question again. So I go, well, what's good in your life? How do you know this wherever we are, or whatever it is? And they'll start to talk to you. And then they'll usually say, well, what do you do? Or something like that. I say,
Yeah.
oh, I'm an accountant. Do you have a great accountant? I always say great accountant
I
because
love that.
everybody has an accountant,
Yeah.
but you have
Yeah.
a great one. And they go, well, I have an accountant. I said, yeah, but do you really like them? Are they great? And they go, well, no. Well, I'm a great one.
I love that.
And they go, well, I'm thinking about switching. I said, I don't want to take business away from anybody. I think there's enough business for all of us. So I'm never
Absolutely.
stealing clients. So they go, well, my accountant doesn't do, I had one guy call me up one time and he was upset with his accountant. I said, well, do you like them? He goes, yeah, they're really good. Then why don't you tell them this? Don't switch. Tell them. If you like what they're doing, talk to them. Don't be switching because unless, if you come to me, I might not know something that's not making you happy. So talk to them. Call them up and talk to them. We're here to serve you. So I talk like that all the time. And because of that, people want to work with people like me. Don't you want to go to a place that welcomes you in and makes you feel good and oh, how are you doing? Instead of accountant. I can't tell you the number of clients we pick up because we answer the phone with a smile on our face. Boy, my last accountant, they always were grumpy, or I always had to they never returned my call, or their voicemail was always filled. So we made it a practice in our firm. Of course, we have voicemail on our cell phones and everything like that. Every single client has my cell phone number. Of course, I get the pushback. Well, they're going to be calling me all the time. They don't. They respect your time.
Yep.
When you respect them, it's a give and a take. Now, I tell them all the time, I said, if it's an accounting emergency and that would qualify, the IRS is at your door with guns, 911 me. But
Yeah.
other than that, I've never had that happen. I want to make sure you get your questions answered. I will get back to you. Maybe not in that instant, but I get back to you. So I keep my phone on silent during the day because I get distracted easily. So I focus, put my head down, and then at the end of the day, I'll pick it up and go. But now I kind of have to keep it around for the dumb code you got to get for everything you slug
Yeah. Yeah.
into.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I put everything on Google Authenticator, so I just have to look up the number. But when I get a text or something, I will return the text, the call at the end of the day. A lot of times when I get a text, I pick up the phone and call them. I got your
Now,
text. What do you want to talk about?
now
So
you kind of alluded into what that next question was going to be, but I was going to ask, you have nothing to worry about on the marketing front. You're a very relational person. What's been your secret to success? I think you kind of alluded to some of it already, but for those who are starting out, for those who are running a firm that aren't having as much fun as you, because I get the vibe you just have a ton of fun at work. Your clients have a ton of fun with you. What's the secret to success for you?
I think that realize that you are like that you what you do as an accounting and a bookkeeper matters. That you have value in the services that you do. So you have to really feel good about who you are and the service you provide and go out and find those people that will value you. Many times, I think, especially newbies, they'll take anybody that walks through the door. So, be discerning, kind of like when I was dating. I think it's the same thing. I met a lot of guys, but none of them were mine.
Yep.
They were decent people, but I thought, just not clicking. And then I met Hal. I said, that guy I like. So I did the same thing with clients. If they were aligned with my values, and you can tell when you meet them for the first time. Do they talk about, well, I really don't want to pay my employees much because I make more money. That's not aligned with my values. I don't want, I had one guy come in one time, it was a pizza place, and I'm sitting there talking to him, and I go, well, I need your POS system, point of sale.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't use that. Well, somebody's ringing that stuff up there. Yeah, but I only record the sales that are on credit cards, so I don't have to pay as much sales tax. Okay, well, what about
Oh
your
boy.
payroll? I don't pay, the cash that I get for the sale of the pizza is how I pay my people. So no one's on payroll, and you only pay, then we can't, that's not a client I want.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's
don't care how much they paid me. The guy wants to cheat, lie, and
red flag.
steal, not my customer. I said, look, if you're coming to me because you don't want to pay any income tax, wrong girl. I
Yeah,
said, if you don't want to
there's
pay
enough
the income
customers out
tax,
there.
yeah, if you don't want to pay income tax, stop working. I said, or the secondary route we'll take is on December 30th, we will see what your profit is. And I will create an invoice from me to you for that exact amount of money. You pay that invoice, and then you have no income, so you'll pay no tax. How does that work for you? Oh, well, then I won't have any money. Yeah, but I'll pay the tax. So they seem to get it. So I said, if you're here to not pay income tax, quit working, because I want people who realize that the more income tax they pay, the more money that they're making, the wealth that they're building. I'm after wealth building, not tax, no tax. Now, we will get with you in November, December, whatever, and do tax planning to make sure we can minimize the taxes that you pay. But if you're going to try to cheat tax by not recording sales or not paying your people what they want, not being a really great business person, then you're not, we, we won't work well together. And they go, oh, and sometimes they switch,
I
they
love
go,
that.
you know,
I love that piece about, hey, yeah, just write me
yeah, right.
I'll write you an
Never had
invoice
anybody
for
take
the
me up on
profit.
that, but one day, one
Hey,
day.
you got to keep asking.
That's right.
So last question for you. I'm really curious, and I think this is going to be an amazing answer. What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Oh God, I got so many good pieces of advice. I don't know, to tell you the truth.
What comes to the top of your head when you hear that?
Well, this has nothing to do with accounting, but the best piece of advice I ever got was from my husband who worked for the Salvation Army. And sometimes when you want to serve people, you know, um, you wind up serving bad people. Meaning he goes, in the Salvation Army, they wanted to serve people that had problems. And they realized if they had 10 people, maybe one was a crook. They knew how to work the system. But to serve the nine, they had to also serve the one. And I thought
Interesting.
that was the best piece. That's the best thing I've ever heard. Like, you're going to sometimes serve people that don't see your value, or like, especially like if you give charity. I think of like, the 9/11, the towers. We all now have to go through TSA because there were a couple of bad guys. I don't want to live my life on the bad guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to worry about the people that might take advantage of me. Well, I don't want to give them my cell phone number because that guy might take advantage. I don't want to do this because everybody else. I think in a positive mode, if the stuff doesn't align or doesn't work for me, I'm open to, this just isn't working for me, you know, um, and we part ways. I mean, they're big boys and big girls.
Yeah.
I don't have to serve people that don't serve me and make me grow up and, wake up and want to come into work and be happy. And other things I think is don't be afraid. This is only money. No one died. Take a chance, take a risk, spend the money. I see so many times accountants, especially, worry about the nickels and the dimes and not worrying about the bigger picture. Think about it. I mean, QuickBooks Online now, if you get a plus version, what, $115 a month? No one likes price increases. No one. But it's basically $4 a day for the brains of your business. You spend more than that at Starbucks every day.
Yeah.
So you could go back to paper and pencil. If it was that much of an issue, you could use paper and pencil. So invest in the technology that will serve you to free up your time. I'm willing to spend the money to save me time. Anything that saves you time costs you money. That's why people drive cars, because they don't want to walk. It does the same function. It
Yeah.
gets you there, but it takes a lot longer.
I love
You
that
know.
analogy.
So I'm willing to spend the money to get for convenience and speed. And if it doesn't work, one thing nice about apps, use another one. You're not married to it. It's not like, it's the only job you can never quit is being a mom or a dad. Once I had the kids, oh, I don't like these kids. Can I give them back? I'm stuck.
No return
Um,
policy.
there's no return policy on them. But everything else, I mean, you can say, what, this doesn't work for me. In fact, when I was the CPA starting, I said, this career does not work for me. I need another one. So I switched until I found how. I said, now I'm running it how I want. So don't be afraid. That's a lot of advice I'm saying. Don't
Oh,
be
that's great. That's
afraid.
great.
Take a chance. You can't lose. And make sure you join a community like Bookkeeping Buds, Ask a CPA, Reframer Society, round tables, something where you're around other colleagues that think like you. So when you're struggling, meaning, I really don't know how to handle this, or what do you think, that they lift you up, that they say, look, you're not in this alone. That was one of the best things I did was join a community and be around other people that get as excited about bank recs as I do. That if I have a pricing problem, how would you price this? How would you handle this situation? You can get the tribe mind comes in.
Yeah.
So join a community. That's I think that's another great piece of advice. Oh, I can go on all day, but
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Community is so big. And I love what you're saying. Don't be afraid. Take the risk. Like just
take a
do the
chance.
thing. Do the thing. Debbie,
You won't
thank you so
die. You will not die. Now,
no.
what's the worst that can happen? A lot of times I play that game. If I made this choice, what's the worst that can happen? If I doubled my prices, for example, and every single client left me, what would I think? Could I handle it? I'd handle it. I mean, but then I would think, I can start over. I can start over and do it a better way this time. So I always think, okay, if I can handle the worst, and everybody's had something they've gone through terrible in their life, every single one of us. So you handle that, you can handle the risk and the chances you can take in your business. So that do it.
I love it. I love it. I'm feeling very motivated and inspired right now.
Good.
Thank you so much. Um, Debbie, thank you so much for coming on. I always have such a blast connecting with you and chatting, and I can't wait to see you at the next event, wherever that may be in the future. Um, yeah, I really appreciate coming on, and I'm sure the listeners got a ton out of this. Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up this episode?
No, but I tell you what, all the people in this profession are just wonderful. It's the only place I found that if you have an idea and I have an idea, we each have one. But if we share it, we both have two. There's no competition, I find, between all of us in this space. And I really love that. So make friends, go meet your colleagues. We're all rooting for you to be successful. So reach out, don't be afraid. We all love you.
What's the best way for people to get in touch with you, Debbie, to continue the
Well, on
conversation?
LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn. I'm getting much better at LinkedIn.
Okay.
And, of course, my Bookkeepers on Fire YouTube channel and my email, Debra. Debra at bsfsaccounting.com. But
Perfect.
the best way is LinkedIn.
Perfect. We'll put those links in the show notes so people can get in
Perfect.
touch.
Thanks.
Debbie, again, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of CFO Chronicles, the secrets behind success. I hope you found value in today's conversation. As we wrap up, I'd love for you to do two things. First, make sure to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. If you enjoyed today's discussion, please rate and review the show. It helps others discover the insights we share here. Second, if you're ready to take your business to the next level and attract the high-end clients you deserve, head over to accountingleadsnow.com or click the link in the show notes to book your strategy call. It's time to position yourself as the advisor your clients need. And don't forget, you can connect with me on LinkedIn to stay up to date on what's happening in the world of accounting and financial growth. We've got exciting topics coming up, so stay tuned for the next episode of CFO Chronicles. Until then, keep pushing forward. Your growth is just one strategic move away.
Thanks for listening to CFO Chronicles, the secrets behind success. We hope today's episode provided valuable strategies to help you attract more high-paying clients. Be sure to subscribe, follow, and share with fellow professionals. Connect with us on LinkedIn and leave a review or comment to join the conversation. Your feedback helps us bring you the best insights in finance and marketing. Until next time, keep striving for success and unlocking your business's potential.